This is the Urban Binge Radio.
To our last few topics. I did not want to hold this topic to now because this topic is it doesn't go with my next section. I just don't feel like it goes with my next section. This went with the zoo stories. What I'm about to say went with the zoo stories and not with this. I don't even know why I waited this long to put this on here. Oh, it's because Larry Reed just messaged me and I totally forgot actually. See, my mind's so bad. Yeah, Larry Reed just messaged me about it and I remembered. Hold on, give me 1 minute. Wow, so the thing that Larry Reed was messaging me about is, sorry for the wait. So I was watching, I typically do church service from home because I'm up here in New York. I've been up here in New York for a pretty long time now, about 6 or 7 years, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 5 or 6. And I didn't plan to stay up here this long. I literally was supposed to be up here for a couple years and leave. And things changed and did not go the way as planned. So being up here, I typically watch my church services in Atlanta because that's just what I'm used to. I'm used to Southern preachers like Bishop Eddie Long, Juanita Bynum, T.D. Jakes. I don't really listen to T.D. Jakes, but Juanita Bynum I listen to faithfully. William Murphy I listen to faithfully because he comes from New Birth, and I already explained that before. But T.D. Jakes recently was at New Birth, which he hasn't been at New Birth in a long time, for 12 years. And like I told you guys before, I grew up basically in New Birth. I know New Birth like the back of my hands. After Bishop Long died, of course, they did an election, and the elected preacher and head of the church is Jamal H. Bryant, or Jamal something Bryant. So Dr. Jamal Bryant had T.D. Jakes there recently, and Juanita Bynum as well. Juanita Bynum has not been there in a very long time. Juanita Bynum was actually there recently as well, who I love so much, Prophetess, and make sure I put her handle on there the right way, Prophetess Juanita Bynum. But T.D. Jakes has not been there since Bishop Long was alive, and that was, I think, about 12 or 13 years ago. Is the last time he was at New Birth, and he was a big part of New Birth coming into fruition. He was a big part of Bishop Long calling him, asking him questions, advice, and he was Bishop Long's father.
I wanted to pause and thank God for the life, for the legacy, and for the legend of God's Renaissance man in the 21st century. Bishop T.D. Jakes is in this room today. Bishop, you have inspired us to transcend church and to do business. Help me thank God for Bishop Jakes. I brought Bishop Jakes here on tonight because Sir Walter Raleigh said that we can see further when we stand on the shoulders of giants. I stand on this pulpit tonight, not because of me, but I want to pause and thank God for the life and for the memory of Bishop Eddie Long, who built this church. Come on, let's thank God for him. Bishop Jakes was very influential into the life of our bishop, our late apostle. When Bishop Long found this parcel of land, the very first call he made was to Bishop T.D. Jakes. When it is that God was elevating Bishop Long to become a bishop, the man who preached over him and consecrated him was Bishop T.D. Jakes. And one of the things that Bishop Long wanted was his father in ministry to come back to this place. And so I wanted to say, Bishop, welcome home. Thank you for who you were to our bishop. Thank you for who you were to this church. And thank you for who you are to the body of Christ. I wouldn't be where it is that I am on today if Bishop Jakes had not made an investment in me. I was 28 years of age, and Bishop Jakes invited me to preach at Megafest. And a month after Megafest, every other day, Bishop Jakes was playing on television, I Hope You Fail. And from that moment, it catapulted me to be where it is that I am today. So many black people have amnesia, and you forget the people that helped you in order for you to get to where you are. But I wanted to publicly thank God for Bishop T.D. Jakes, for who he is, for his life, for his legacy, and for his deposit in the earth. There is a liability within our community that many times we don't celebrate our leaders until after they're dead. That when they die, we want to name streets after them. but while they're alive, we run their name through the street. But I wanted Bishop Jakes to know that Atlanta celebrates him. And we wanted him to know in the full breadth of who he is, that we are grateful that God's hand is on his life. Our music ministry.
And I love that they acknowledge Bishop Long. I love that they acknowledge Bishop Long, because I always say that I don't want people to forget about Bishop Long, and I don't want his legacy to be forgotten. He built this church. He did a lot. He did a lot for Atlanta, and I never want him to be forgotten. I just don't. Although I've had my issues with Bishop Long, and that I've never talked about ever. I've never talked about it. Only to my mom, and of course my partner knows. But I've had some issue with Bishop Long in the past before. That really hurt me and broke me, that I've never talked about. And in due time, I will talk about it one day. One day I'll talk about it. But regardless, I have this place in my heart. It's as if a father who hurt their child, but they still love their father. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you hurt me, but you my father and I love you. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of New Birthians feel that way. Not being physically touched, not being verbally abused or anything by Bishop Long, but just the allegations alone caused a lot of people to just feel like, I want to reject my father, but that's my father and I love my father. That's why his funeral was so packed out, but T.D. Jakes was there on Good Friday, the Friday before Easter. And he hadn't been there in a long time. But in the audience, I watched the entire service. Bishop T.D. Jakes had me in here boo-hooing, crying like, oh, yada boo, yada boo. But I watched the whole service, and at the end of the service, they do the altar call where they ask the people to come down and join and become a member of the church, blah, 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 blah. And when they pan across Paris, one of the accusers of Bishop Eddie Long, the main accuser of Bishop Eddie Long, which was kind of a shocker that that he would be in New Birth. After I can almost guarantee there was a restraining order, maybe not, but I can almost guarantee there was a restraining order. And this boy name is Paris. I forgot his first name. But take a look at this.
Bishop T.D. Jakes at New Birth doing an altar call on Good Friday, 2022 Good Friday. He hasn't been there in like 10 or 12 years. He hasn't been in New Birth since Bishop Long was living. And of course, this is Jamal Bryant's church now, no longer Bishop Long, although he built the church. It's Jamal Bryant's church. But look at who's in the building. Look at the last person you would expect to be there.
You have turned into somebody that you're not even proud of, but you're really trying to protect that little girl down in you who got her heart broken. And God wants to restore you and renew you. Come to this altar tonight and give your life to Christ.
Orange shirt.
Y'all ought to clap better than that.
Orange
Heaven
shirt
is
right
rejoicing
there.
better than that.
Bald head, orange shirt.
What can wash
Right there.
away
That's Paris,
my sin?
one of Bishop Long's accusers.
Nothing but the blood.
The main accuser, the head accuser, the top accuser,
They say, what
who accused
can
Bishop Long
we
of, the whole sex scandal, molestation, or whatever it was. He's the one that sued Bishop Long because he spoke about it, and he got caught in Florida with some drugs on him or something like that, allegedly. But I do remember those stories. That is Paris, though. That's Paris. I'm just shocked that he's at New Birth. I just don't understand.
Because Bishop Eddie Long is speaking out.
We're talking about Jamal Paris telling a story of what he calls a love-hate relationship with a man he considered a father. Senior IT reporter Dale Russell first broke the story. He's here with his exclusive report. Dale?
Tom, following Bishop Long's sermon on Sunday, we caught a plane to Colorado, home to Jamal Paris, the oldest of all the accusers in the case. And in a parking lot late at night, he told us a story of love, anger, and a desire to protect other young men. This is a very serious allegation, but no one has heard from you. Jamal Paris didn't want to talk at first, but before he left us, He had plenty to say about Bishop Eddie Long.
If you look at us in our eyes and you hear the pain in our voice, we don't have a reason to lie to this man.
Jamal Paris is one of the 4 young men who have filed sexual misconduct lawsuits against Bishop Long, accusing him of using scripture and church money.
So yeah, that's Paris, and I wanted to put the Fox 5 news story there so you guys can, you know, put it all together for yourself. That was posted on my Instagram at the Urban Binge. Instagram is our Instagram page, our blog Instagram page. So yeah, it was just kind of like, and I'm just a curious mind wondering why was he at New Birth and what is his feelings today? What are your feelings today that you've returned to New Birth after Bishop Long's death? I wouldn't be surprised if he was there before Bishop Long's death.
Something's got to get in your spirit that disturbs you enough to say enough is enough. I've drawn my line. Enough is enough. I'm tired of being broke. Enough is enough. I'm tired of the government telling me when to speak, when not to speak, where to go. Enough is enough. It is revolution time. Nah. See, that's why y'all crazy folk have been called to walk with this crazy man. Because we were born for this. Now that's why other folk think you crazy and weird, but I was born to this. Which means when I leave here, this thing gonna be changed. I'm not talking about the sanctuary, I'm not talking about the church, but when I go into the heavenlies, this earth.
So in this video here, this is, if you can tell, I have tried to put the arrow on Paris, Jamal Paris, so that you guys can see him clearly. He was a faithful member as well of New Birth. I don't know who his mom was. Maybe I did, but don't quite remember. Can't put a face with his face, you know, a name with his face. But this is Jamal Paris at New Birth on several occasions. So I have 2 occasions here though where he was there, and one of these occasions I'm right down front. So the person with the red on is me down front in the first clip, and the second clip with Bishop Long with the blue suit on, more so royal blue suit on, is the second time I could find Jamal Paris at New Birth. So he was a faithful member. He was always down front, cheering Bishop on, cheering, always present. I remember seeing him go up the elevator all the time, and I was like, dang, I wish I had a key to go up the elevator like him. Him and some of the other Longfellows who were considered Longfellows. So I just wanted to show you guys that this is Jamal Paris, or Paris Jamal, here at New Birth. My mom was a faithful member of New Birth, so I remember faces. I can point out so many faces around here. Even down front is iRock. iRock was a gospel rapper. His mom and dad got him into gospel rapping. He was also a faithful member, and you may know his mom's face from being the mediator in Love and Hip Hop, splitting up those fights in Love and Hip Hop, the producer who's always jumping in. That is iRock Williams' mother. iRock is also about to be on Black Ink, if he's not already on Black Ink. But I know I just seen recently a clip of him on Black Ink. So, yeah, I know New Birth very well, and the people at New Birth and the members at New Birth. I know them very well. Just show me a picture, I can probably point them out.
But I'm just curious to know, he would get saved, you know, at New Birth again. And what was in his heart? What was his feelings? It's not none of our business. You know, it's none of our business. I'm not entitled to know. I'm curious, and I'm just wondering, and I can give my opinion, and I can say what I want to say. I'm not offending anybody or anything by saying that I'm curious to know what is going on in his mind, in his body, in his soul. Body and soul. Oh, okay. But yeah, I'm wondering what's going on with him. You know what I'm saying? What's going on with Carry On? What's going on with Paris that he would be here at New Birth after Bishop Long's death? Here while TD Jakes is here, and William Murphy is here, and it's a packed house. I'm not understanding why he is here. Kind of feel like he definitely is noticed by security. He's definitely been noticed by the police. I'm pretty sure he is being watched. Ain't nobody finna do nothing wrong or out the way to him. Now that man touching his face like that, I was like, listen, look, sir, you might not want to touch him in no type of soft, funny, loving, caring way. You might want to just put your hands by his side and tell him good job. Let a woman rub him or something. Cause listen, no affection from no older men. You bring back memories. If it was true, Bishop Long, I think, settled out for like $25 million, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not. Maybe it wasn't that much. Don't get me wrong here. I don't know. And I'm not going to go look the shit up because I don't give a fuck that much to go look it up. But I will say, I know that Bishop Long settled out because he didn't want this thing to keep going. So he said, but rest in peace to Bishop Eddie Long. I don't understand why Paris is there. Curious minds are wondering, I'm pretty sure, what are his thoughts and what are his feelings about this whole situation. Anyway, let's move on from Paris and that whole situation.
It was just a blessing in disguise. Thank you, 'cause I dodged a bullet. When you walked out, I thought that it was over, but it turned out it was just a blessing in disguise. A blessing in disguise.
Huh? Shrimp and chicken? Oh, wow. You stayed to the very end, I see. Well, since you're here, do me a favor. Hit those big words down there. Subscribe. You see that? Yeah. And if you liked the video or if you didn't like the video, hit that thumbs up. Also, hit that bell so you can be notified every time we go live or post a video. You don't want to miss our content. I'm telling you. You can also follow us on all social media platforms. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and a new one, BiNGE, at The Urban Binge, okay? You can also Google search our podcast. If you can't get enough of us, we're always posting on our podcast talking about interesting topics. Just search The Urban Binge Radio Podcast. And you can find us on several podcast platforms, i.e. iHeart, Spotify, and any podcast platform that you prefer. And after you're done with all of that, scroll down our channel, and I'm sure you'll find a lot more interesting content like this video. See you guys later. Let me finish getting dressed.